What up, chicks and chickadees? How's it going? We're here for our weekly energy oracle forecast, and I'm excited about what I'm seeing here. Yee! So this card was peeking out before I started shuffling from the bottom of the deck. It's victory. I feel really excited and really solid in seeing this show up. I feel like we finally made it to the other side of the initiation season. We've made it to the other side of the eclipses. We made it through the karmic cycle of the 16-year transit of Pluto through Capricorn. Pluto is now snug as a bug under a rug in Aquarius now. So we made it out alive. And now we have a couple of months to catch our breath and start practicing being the new self, being the higher self. It's going to be teaching our nervous system new patterns and new habits, and training ourselves, honestly, rehearsing as if for a play. And so we're getting ready, for next season. So when we've been talking about over the last couple of years how it's as if over the last, I would say 3 years, over the the whole lifespan of this channel, we'd been preparing for this time. We had been preparing to jump into a new timeline. If y'all have been here since the beginning, you will, looking back on the storyline, you're like, oh my gosh, we've been really step by step preparing for this all along. We were getting rid of the old things that weren't going to fit into this new identity. We've been preparing the rebirth of self. And then we have been sort of looking at life as as if our old life was a Netflix series and it was about us. And we were the star, the center of the show. And it's life, the Netflix series, got canceled. And we were like, oh no, what are we going to do? But the thing is, it's don't worry, it got picked back up. We're rebooting it. It's just we don't have to go by the former canon anymore to write each episode. It's this new story can unfold. And so we were oh, okay, this was our metaphor that we've been going along with. Well, now it's as if we've been waiting for season 1 to start, but it's almost we've just finished season 1 of this Netflix series, Us, right? The reboot. And when you think about it, when you see the first season of the show, it's all about introductory, right? It's where's the character at now in their life, at present? Who is this person? What's their immediate surroundings like? Who are the main characters? And, it's really in season 2 that they start to kind of grow into their shoes and get kind of their feet wet into the depth of their character development, right? So now I feel now that we're rehearsing the higher self and we're really starting into the new timeline, this is sort of season 2, I feel like season 1 was okay, we're characters, we're about to jump through a portal into a new dimension, and we've been preparing for that, and then it kind of happened, and now we've been spit out on the other side, and it's all right, well, the transformation phase 1 is complete. Now what, right? King Arthur pulled the sword out of the stone. So what's he going to do with it? It's we get to the end of the movie and the hero wins, aha, I've defeated the enemy. But it's okay, well, now what? So we've got victory here. Sweet victory. So this moment is allowing us to savor, we've come through something. We've been through something. We've been on the other side of it. I feel so primal with my fur collar here, faux fur, and my head's on spikes. So feeling that right now. So yeah, we could put my jack-o'-lantern head on spikes. So it feels good. So revel in this moment. Let all that growth sort of sink in, and let yourself reflect, and you'll start to realize oh my gosh, all that you've come through, and it'll be it'll become more apparent. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I really have, like, I feel so accomplished for having come through all that, you know? So honor your victory, and then start to let yourself sort of dream or receive visions and guidance about next steps, what's to come, what is the next sort of aim. All right, what else do we need to know? Ooh, we've got connection. So part of looking back and reflecting is really like seeing how everything has all been connected. Seeing how kind of one thing led to another and one thing brought us this and that. But right now, it's still all connected, right? All of our healing, all of our efforts, they've all been going into the same spiritual bank account. So right now, it is our job, while we're in surrender mode, we're still showing up and doing everything that we can on our side. But the Creator has got timing involved and the divine plan in order. So right now, it's about keeping our mindset and our heart aligned with our soul's, centered consciousness, right? Not the ego-centered consciousness of self, thinking, oh, I want results. I want to, I've got my own timeline that I'm working on here, and I want, to have this done by now. It's like, no, we need to be in a soul-oriented consciousness, following what is the best route for the soul. Where is the soul tugging me and leading me? Because that's ultimately taking me towards the divine plan, right? So aligning our actions with that soul-guided purpose. All right. What else? Ooh, that one was pretty pushy, I guess you'd say. Joy. Yee. So great. This is going to be a chapter bringing us a lot more joy, allowing us to relax. It's not going to be so severe as the last 16 years of our karmic cycle, at least not for the cardinal signs. They hate to be a fixed sign right now. But maybe it won't be so bad for y'all. I think that society just went through probably the bulk of it in that way. So we'll just see how it goes for y'all, but good luck out there. But yes, joy has come. The worst of it is now behind us. So I think that right now, the best we can do while we're practicing becoming the higher self is cultivating joy. Because it's when we have a lot of joy and fire and spirit that we have all the inspiration and magnetism and love, and we open our hearts, and then things start being drawn in. But when we're bah humbug and sour and bitter and wary and not trusting, our hearts shut down and closed off. And that goes for people and opportunities and everything. It's all of the above. You're shutting out everything, not just some things. This card was itching at me, and I picked it, and it's sacral chakra. We've been doing a lot of healing there this year about letting go of guilt and shame and unblocking our creativity and unblocking the flow of sustenance in our lives. So really getting in touch with that realm, the astral realm, the soul realm. This is the gate of where, souls come and go in this world. So pay attention to your dreams, work with the element of water, but I feel like this is about letting go of guilt and shame. Ending that old cycle, new beginnings already started, and new things, new growth that's protected. And then we have observe. So observing here, look at this. This is the sunflowers always face the sun, always facing the light. We are here looking up in awe of the transformation being complete. We're observing ourselves in this moment of having arrived at a certain state of phase one of the plan is complete kind of thing. It's we're always a work in progress, and we always have a long way to go. But at a certain, to a certain degree, we've done a significant amount of healing and growth, and we are going to the next level. We're going to the next level. We're going to the next level. We're gonna get there. We have to sneak our way onto the boat. We're getting on. So just hang in tight. But give yourself time to look up and look out and look within and see and notice, wow, the transformation, the metamorphosis really has happened. And you feel so much more illuminated and full of light and connected to the light and aware of the light. So very exciting week ahead. The end of struggle, the end of old, difficult cycles, the beginning of new things, and fear not, those new, budlings, those new sproutlings, they are being protected. What is for you is set aside for you. It's meant for you. It's so funny because today I took a cut from work, and I was like, it's so funny because normally I'm a real stickler about not taking cuts. And recently I've been guided in faith to take more cuts for myself, to just to spend time getting caught up on things and letting myself rest and not feeling like my worth is tied into my productivity. And so for me, it is a difficult stretch for me to take off work. I'm not a lazy prone person. It's not hard for me to go to work. I like going into work. It's harder for me to take the cut. So when we're like thinking in spiritual terms, what should I do here? What is the spirit asking me to do? It's usually, okay, what goes against your nature is what you're supposed to do. Like, which is the hardest thing for you to do? What makes you face your fear? What makes you overcome your rigidness? So I had taken a cut yesterday, and I was like, okay, yesterday it's like a good night to take a cut. If it's not going to be busy at the restaurant, you're going to have to tip out a bunch of people anyway. So it's like, you're not going to make great money. So it's like, okay, fine. If you're going to take a cut on any night, like if it's going to be a bad Saturday night, you might as well stay home and not waste the time, waste your energy. So we had like less on the books for tonight. And it's so funny because as I was out running, I was just thinking like, man, I'm not ready to go back to work today. Like I wish I had one more day. And sure enough, the text came and it was like, there's room for like 3 cuts tonight, which means it's not going to be busy. And I was like, okay, if there's no takers by the time I get home, I'm going to check in again and I am going to take a cut. And then, or I was like, if I can find out like more about like reservation wise, that'll give me an accurate judge of like what kind of money we're talking about going in tonight. And then we found out how many reservations were on the books. And it was like, no, it's not worth working. It's going to be more valuable. I'm going to reveal more sparks of light by staying home, by doing self-care, by doing inner work, by connecting with the Creator. And the Creator wanted to spend time with me. And so the Creator wanted me to take that leap of faith and trust that the Creator knows what I need and how much money I need to make. And it's so funny because I came to the acceptance that however much money the Creator wants me to make this week, I'm going to make that amount of money. And I can make that in 4 shifts or 3 shifts or 5 shifts. And if I try to force more money, I'm just going to have worse shifts and I'm going to waste my energy, right? So I accepted the fact that like I can miraculously make the same amount of money regardless because Creator's in control. And it's funny because my Kabbalah teacher David was teaching this week in his podcast about it was the most recent podcast, David Guillaume's podcast. Go download it. It was about the difference between when we need to know when we're putting in enough effort and when we're not putting in enough effort and when we need to put in more effort. And so he was talking about how we need to realize that we need to do everything that we can to make our dreams a reality and pursue our purpose and pursue our spiritual development and pursue correction of our tikkun. We need to do everything that we can. At the same time, we need to realize that like nothing that we do matters, that the Creator's in total control, and that even if we did nothing and we were meant to have this thing or do this thing or complete this thing, like that thing would eventually happen. We would eventually get there anyway. So it's like we need to have the humility of knowing that what we do, like we don't have power, we don't have like control. It's not really like we aren't making things happen. The creator is. The will of the creator is what's going to happen regardless. But what we have control over is like doing the best we can and showing up and doing our part. But honestly, just like showing up for the sake of like doing whatever the creator wants of us. Okay, my goal here is just to do what the creator wants of me. That's going to bring me out to the highest result in the end, right? So and the creator's will is the will that's going to be done, and I'm going to be in a state of fulfillment if I align myself with that will, and I'm going to be in a state of suffering if I attach myself to my own will and go against the will of the creator, because I'm going to be swimming against the current forever. So all right, you all, let's see, what do we have? Where did our cards go? We've got victory, yay, connection, joy, sacral chakra, ending, observation. All right, we'll be back tomorrow on our next video for our weekly anchor message, where we will be getting our spiritual assignments for the week. Till then, ciao, bellas. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it, then please give it a like. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications to be notified of when I drop content. Like the videos, comment, share them. Anything that you do helps these messages get out to other people who need them. So you watching a video and taking an action on it actually makes a positive difference in someone else's life.